The night began as what was meant to be a harmless company party, an evening for networking, laughter, and celebrating my wife's recent promotion. I dressed sharply, hoping to stand proudly beside her as the supportive husband I had always been. But the moment we stepped into the hall, I felt a shift in the air. Instead of introducing me as her husband, she drifted toward a tall man in a tailored suit, her hand brushing his arm as if it belonged there. The worst part wasn't the touch. It was the way she glanced back at me with a smug smile, as if daring me to speak. She introduced him casually, calling him someone very important to her career. Those words burned, but the way she said them, as if he mattered more than I ever had, cut deeper. All night, she laughed at his jokes, clung to his side, and made me feel invisible in a room where I should have been her proudest introduction. Guests whispered, some glancing at me with pity, others with curiosity. I clenched my jaw, forcing myself to stay calm. She wanted a reaction, and I wasn't about to give her the satisfaction of watching me fall apart. Instead of sulking in a corner, I poured myself a drink and began talking with her colleagues. To my surprise, many of them already knew what was happening. They'd noticed the special bond between my wife and this man for weeks. They assumed I was clueless, but I played along, smiling, listening, and collecting every detail. The humiliation slowly turned into clarity. If she wanted to flaunt her disrespect in front of everyone, then I would choose the perfect moment to respond, not with anger, but with precision. As the evening went on, she grew bolder. She danced with him under the lights, tossing her hair like a teenager, making sure I saw every sway of her hips. My chest tightened, not only with pain, but with the realization that this wasn't a mistake. It was deliberate. She wanted the world to see she had options, that she was powerful enough to treat her husband like nothing more than a shadow. But she underestimated me. She thought I would tolerate it, that I would beg, that I would embarrass myself trying to win her attention back. So I did the opposite. I calmly excused myself from the group I was speaking with, took out my phone, and sent a message to my lawyer. Within minutes, the first draft of the divorce papers was underway. My heart ached, but my mind was clear. If she was ready to parade another man, then I was ready to end the performance entirely. I returned to the party floor, smiling politely, as if nothing had changed, and waited. That moment came when she tried to humiliate me publicly. With her arm linked through his, she raised her glass and said loudly, "To real men who know how to take care of a woman." The crowd chuckled awkwardly, some avoiding my eyes, others waiting for me to explode. Instead, I raised my own glass calmly and replied, "And to women who never realize what they've lost until it's gone." The silence that followed was heavy, all eyes snapping to her as her smile faltered. The man beside her tried to laugh it off, but his discomfort was obvious. He hadn't signed up to be displayed like that. My wife's confident mask slipped, and for the first time all evening, she looked unsure. I didn't stop there. I walked up to her, placed my wedding ring on the table between us, and said clearly enough for everyone to hear, "You can keep playing your games, but you'll be playing them alone from now on." The room went still. Shocked looks were exchanged, whispers spreading through the hall. She froze, her glass trembling in her hand, the smugness gone. Her so-called important man stepped back, clearly unwilling to be part of a collapsing marriage. And just like that, the crowd wasn't laughing with her anymore. They were watching her fall. I left the party without another word, stepping into the cool night air with my head held high. Behind me, I heard her calling my name, desperation breaking through her voice. I didn't turn around. I had given her everything, my love, my loyalty, my years, and she chose to treat me like a prop she could discard. That night, she learned the difference between a man who stays out of love and one who leaves out of self-respect. Days later, mutual friends told me her office buzzed with gossip. The man she flaunted distanced himself immediately, unwilling to risk his career over her recklessness. Her colleagues no longer respected her, and the promotion she had boasted about began to slip away. As for me, I moved forward with dignity. She tried to humiliate me at her office party, but in the end, my calm, deliberate response left her carrying regret far longer than I carried the pain.